Still, teams are setting up with fairly standard-looking lineups, both running the Mei, the Reaper, and the Ana comp. So lots of walls coming up, lots and lots of Death Blossoms with the Nano Boost as well. That's going to be absolutely huge in these fights. Who can get off better, and who can control the enemy team's Reaper, of course, going to be the huge factors in these coming battles. Let's jump on board with one of these Meis first and foremost. See if you can find a good wall here as they just start fighting on the point immediately.
Not particularly happy with that first wall from Wacko, it has to be said. Yes, the wall did go up. Yes, it did annoy the Sydioda team, but unfortunately it didn't actually split anyone up, and that didn't give them too much of an advantage. The first 2 kills are going the way of Ozyria, so they're managing to start positively at least. But this is kind of a series of 1v1s at the moment, and worryingly, it's Sydioda that are able to group themselves together. So after the first 2 kills going their way, everything else has gone the way of Sydioda, and that's going to enable them to one and done here. A little bit disorganized from Ozyria to start things off.
Yeah, I think I do actually have teams backwards. Is it Ozyria on the red team at the moment?
It is Ozyria on the red team at the moment.
Yes. Okay, I've got them correct at the moment then. So Ozyria take the first point in a pretty good time. But meanwhile, actually, Reaper staying on the high ground, just looking to get a surprise, has to force Syl back there in the Wraith form. But he's going to be nice and safe. Reaper, of course, with that extra life claws, also just pushing forward, trying to gain what ground he can. Might have overextended a little bit here. Actually gets caught with the sleep dart. 50 health down. That's actually a really big loss. Losing Zarya just costs you so much momentum here. This is going to force Sydioda on the back foot for a little while. They're just going to have to eat a little bit of poke. But that isn't too bad with Ana. But Ana, of course, is already good to go with that Nano Boost. And the Nano Boost is up and running. Let's get into this action. It's Reaper charging forward. Can he find the damage he's looking for, though? He's struggling a little bit and actually caught in a Graviton Surge. Will Wraith form out of that safely, though?
Oh man, Super Plug actually with the Nano Boost in the meantime as well. And still managing to get a triple kill. That's particularly interesting as well, because guys, this was after Nano Boost had actually expired. So he was waiting to get himself into position, was very patient, and was very, very disciplined about when to actually use his ultimate there. Or maybe Nano Boost just came on too early. One or the other way, he managed to grab a triple at the end of that. And that does mean after one and done on the first point, Sydioda are making blistering pace now through the streets phase. If they get this payload through, they're going to have something like 7 minutes to complete.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot of time to do this. There goes the Blizzard, however, and there goes the Graviton Surge on the point as well. That's actually just missing onto the Graviton Surge, but managed to get onto the point. This is good for Sydioda as they do advance onto the point. Midna, though, with a great Earthshatter, catches just about everyone and claws, scoops up a triple kill. Can he find extra on the back of that? Nokia's just juking and jiving at the moment. Nox getting frozen up. Survives a little bit longer. Will go down to claws once again. Can claws actually clean up, I think, every single kill in this fight? No,
wow.
Mufu takes the last kill away, so no honorary hexa kill for him.
We were talking about just how influential claws would be when they pick him off early. Guys, that was a demonstration of exactly how influential a good Zarya player can be in those team fights. He didn't get picked off early, and as a result, he picked literally everybody else off.
But meanwhile, this is a really, really good position right now for Sydioda. They do have the Beyblade ready. They do have the Nano Boost and Death Blossom combo. There's a Blizzard getting thrown out, though. That's just going to buy them actually a little bit of space on the point. As they do start trying to charge forward, they do manage to get onto the point. And they still haven't used this combo. Anna's gone down a little bit early, but I think Syl's in position to do a lot of damage. But Super Plow gets a 4-man Earthshatter, and I think that's just saved the entire fight for them. That's going to let Nox just clean everything up on the back line there, and that's going to be a payload just stalled out a little bit longer.
We've now had 2 really good Reaper passages of play that have happened without the use of Death Blossom. Nox still has his available, and more importantly, you think, has Nano Boost available as well. And here comes the Reaper with the Nano Boost. We're looking for it. Nox grabbing 2. He wants more, though. He is not going to stop there. Strength's going down as well. Is Mei going to go down? Yes, he is. And grabs all 4. Doesn't matter that he went down to claws at the end of that. He is absolutely done his job.
Yeah, that was an absolutely beautiful play there. That's just what you want to see out of that combo, and it's going to be up to Ozyria to reply in kind. Syl is charged and ready to go. Can he get that same amount of value, or can Mei put a crimp on it? That's all that really is going to be able to stop this. Maybe a Graviton Surge as well will be able to buy them a little bit of time. Here it comes. Doesn't actually manage to get anything, and it lands a sleep dart as well. He doesn't get woken up either. This is a good result for Sydioda. There's a Graviton Surge picked up. Several people, Blizzard as well, coming out just to buy them even more space, and Nox is just going to have a whale of a time cleaning up on the back line here. Should be able to finish up the rest of this fight, and good job by Sydioda.
That Ana versus Ana dynamic is so important. Nano Boost is such a great ultimate ability, but so is Sleep Dart if you have enough team coordination to make sure you don't do any damage and wake the recipients of said dart. So that was very well played there by Ozyria, and Sydioda still have a lot of work to do. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining for them to push this payload to the end. So still very, very doable.
And a good Maywall there, just splitting off half the team. Min actually managed to pick up Wacko there, which is kind of a strange pick-off there, as Heiko is just caught out in the middle of the fight. That does actually get the better of the rival Zarya on claws. So this is, again, looking really good for Sydioda. And I have just seen in the chat that the game volume sounds a bit low. It sounds a bit low in my ears as well, so I'll fix that in a second during this downtime.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. In the meantime, we can see the team's resetting just a little bit. Sydioda continuing to get into position. You notice there aren't really any major changes of composition or anything like that. They're happy to keep pushing with what got them very quickly onto the second point in the first place. And Superplow, wow, he's actually very high up because Graviton Surge in the back is proving to be a big hit at the moment. 4 kills, Superplow still out in front. Outside there, and maybe was a bit unaware of just how far back the rest of his team were, because unfortunately having those shields were completely useless while the DPS players were wreaking havoc into the Graviton Surge, and as a result Sydioda are now basically one team fight away.
Graviton Surge, though, does manage to pick up 4 people. Can they get the damage out to clean the rest of this up? Blizzard now coming out onto the point, but it's not going to really catch anyone. And in the back there, Midna's also just got up wildly out of position. This is looking like a good defensive hold coming out of Sydioda. That said, the silver lining is that they did not use the Death Blossom for this fight, but they did use the Nano Boost. But that said, it is Nano Boost. It does charge redonkulously fast, so they should have that up, at least in time for the next push. 1 minute 45 left on the clock. That's about 2, maybe 3 good pushes left, as Wacko just tries to buy a little bit more time there on the front line. We'll just drop the wall, but I don't think that's really going to slow anyone down, unfortunately, for him.
They're going to start to need a lot of time on that, because at the moment there's only 1.5 minutes remaining. Oh, here comes a big Earth Shadow. It looks like we're trying to Superplow, get everyone from behind. It won't quite work at the moment. Strength's getting dangerously close to death. Needs to be very careful. You don't want Arnon to be sniped off in the backline, especially when you're hunting for that. That's a Reaper. That's a Nano Boost. Nox getting 2, looking for more people. And I believe he got all 6 kills there. That was a complete team wipe. Nano Boost plus Reaper, eat your heart out.
Yeah, and that's actually what happens when that combo comes out during the middle of a fight. You don't initiate with it, you bring it out in the middle of the fight, everyone's too busy engaged in their own little battles, and then suddenly Reaper's just killed everyone with that 300 AoE DPS nightmare that is just so hard to deal with. Big ask right now is going to be on Claws. Can Claws find the Graviton Surge he needs? He does actually manage to catch a lot of people. There's still a lot of people surviving on this, and Blizzard's going to come down for Sydioda, just buying them even more defensive room. Sound Barrier also coming up, just giving them so much space to play around with, and they should just be able to clean up on the back of this very, very simply and easily. Nox picking up a couple of kills on the back line, and meanwhile Heiko just pushing out on the front, cleaning up there.
This is looking very good for Ozyria after losing the first 2 points so quickly to Sydioda. Sydioda looking really good for them after losing the first 2 points so quickly. They're able to put up such a good defense here on point number 3. So Ozyria gonna have to do something very special. That's an excellent Graviton Surge, but Midna has the shield up. Here comes Nox, though. He's nano boosted, looking to do the same again that he did last time around, and that is into the sound barrier.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane damage coming out of Nox there. Just managed to build up his ult during that nano boost. Of course, we have a nano boosted Lucio dancing around on the point. A little bit hard to remove, but not really that scary, unfortunately, Lucio. You're not that frightening. At least not as frightening as Nox on this Reaper. They're definitely getting the combos they need, and this is what you need in this meta. You've got to have that Ana-Reaper synergy, and you've got to have that Ana-Reaper synergy and Zarya synergy in my mind as well. You've got to get that barrier onto the Reaper to make sure that you don't get shut down like we saw last night with NWA, constantly landing the flashbangs, shutting down the Reaper, landing sleep darts, landing all sorts of things just to make sure that Reaper was not getting the value. The key is dealing and slowing down that Reaper. The combo is going to come out. You can't really stop it. It's how you handle it that's going to really determine how far you get in this meta.
Yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there. I think the most important things to block against isn't tremendous amounts of damage, but it is those disabling abilities like the sleep darts, like the... They are the skills that can essentially completely shut down that combo play. And as you just saw there, I suspect, by the way, spoiler alert, that might end up being play of the match regardless of which team wins King's Row. I genuinely think that that is the biggest threat. There's really not much else you have to worry about other than positioning when you unleash that combo.
Well, we did see some absolutely superb blizzards coming out yesterday. I hope to see a few more today. A couple of the blizzards that we saw in the last match weren't the greatest place. They weren't really catching people off that too much or as much as possible. We saw some great Graviton and Blizzard combos as well coming out the other day. I do see Heiko has picked up Hanzo. I think he's run this before during this tournament, and you think he does like the Hanzo. But no, he's actually swapping to Farah. I'm going to be curious to see if they stay on this.
Yeah. Does that mean we're going to be seeing... No, you think could swap over to Mercy initially, but that would... I'm not sure. I think I think we're just going to do the healing from your thing on ground level, and the idea behind that would be for your thing to continuously heal everyone else on the ground as well, rather than target an individual player. How well that works out for them, though, I'm not too sure. There's a reason Fire Mercy is so powerful.
Yeah, this is actually kind of crazy. There we go. He swapped off the fire, but they are sticking with this Hanzo, opting to not run a Reaper. This is probably just going to be a scouting arrow too. He's going to drop back and then swap onto that Reaper. No big surprise there. This is something that teams have been doing. Just gives you that little bit of information, lets you know where the enemy team is set up, although most teams are pretty much setting up in the same place. But you don't need that Reaper in those first few seconds anyways. Mei just spams over, trying to find a little bit of an angle, not really finding anything. You've got to be so careful in this meta as well while poking, because if you try and poke too much, well... Sorry, excuse me. They're just going to heal out. That's some coffee from earlier, just repeating on me there. As Battlefy is joined immediately, Heiko just getting right into the fight immediately on 100% charge there. So much damage coming out of him. This is super aggressive defending coming out of Ozyria.
Yeah, big collapse coming out here to start things off with Nano Boost already coming in. Claws on Zarya going to be the recipient of that, trying his best to get stuff done, but Nox once again has been absolutely superb, grabbing 2 more with the Death Blossom before getting frozen for a nice little bit of a mid-air pose there, and he will finally get taken out, but 3 kills should mean that we do see a one and done. And this is so important for Sydioda because, frankly, Ozyria looked so good on the first 2 points of attack. And it was only on the final point that I feel like Sydioda woke up and went, hang on a second, guys, we're better than this. So yeah. I wonder if we're going to be seeing the same story here. We saw basically one and done last time around as well. They've still got a big mountain to climb.
And I mean, hats off there to Claws as well. Like, he managed to land a fairly good Graviton Surge, but it was a very panicked Graviton Surge as well. The fight was already over. Of course, he built up a huge amount of charge during that Nano Boost, so managed to sort of get that up and running very, very quickly and very, very early in that fight. But then just fight it, and he was his own follow-up there, and he was the only one left alive, so not really getting the value out of that. That means Heiko has a huge advantage here. He's just going to run in, drop the Graviton Surge. There's the hammer down, but doesn't find anything. Blizzard's just beneath them as well, so everyone's just going to be frozen, and these are kills offered up on a platter for Sydioda. Can the counter Blizzard do anything, though, is the big question.
Oh man, here it comes. The counter Blizzard has basically frozen a lot of players, but there's no DPS left to actually take advantage of it. And as a result, Sydioda are going to continue to roll through the street space. It was a good counter Blizzard, don't get me wrong, but we needed people alive to actually take advantage of it. And that's what Ozyria didn't have there. Yeah,
that was... Like, I've got to hand it out to Wacko. Wacko's positioning has been good. He was off to the side there, so he was out of the Blizzard range. Managed to freeze up Syl, who was going to be the key damage dealer in that fight. Of course, that's the Reaper on Ozyria. And if you remove that threat, well, there's just no follow-up. And oh, Super Plow just getting the money shot there and getting all that damage out. They don't even need Death Blossom for this fight. Nox just getting the Nano Boost, charging in, cleaning up on the backline as well. Beautiful play there. Sydioda just look unstoppable at the moment.
I am now very worried for Ozyria. This was the point where Sydioda were able to hold them last time around, but they definitely need to do the same thing. And there's 5 minutes and 17 seconds for them to actually get through there at the moment. Graviton Surge to start things off from Sydioda. Nox doesn't quite have Death Blossom yet. He's going to do it the old-fashioned way. Wow, he does do it the old-fashioned way. Death Blossom coming out anyway to try and pick up some additional kills. Claws goes down, Mufu, and picks up Syl too. That, I think, might end up being a nail in the coffin because we're going to have to see trickle defense by the looks of things at this point. Nox very forward, trying to prevent as many people coming through as possible. The wall isn't quite enough to stop 2 players coming through. Mufu is now going to be playing basically holding position until everyone else can come back in. But they're just leading bodies left, right, and center. They're coming in one at a time. Graviton Surge pops out. It won't be enough to win them the match. And Sydioda march through.
Yeah, they could not stay on the point long enough. I think Syl out on the Tracer just was slightly too far away from the point, and the payload just rolled on straight into that golden parking spot of joy. That gets them the victory on this first point. So, Sydioda 1 point up, and they definitely looked decisive in that. Their engages were just a lot cleaner. Their play was a lot more precise. They looked a lot more practiced and just well played by them, and well played to this chap as well, Nox.
Here comes the 6K!
This was just absolutely stunning. And I think this was during like the middle of the fight, so he just gets a clean kill there. And everyone's just caught up in their own little 1 versus 1s. He doesn't even need to drop the Death Blossom.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Right until the end. Beautifully done. And it looks like we'll be going to Lijiang Tower next, so...